Okay, year 9, so welcome to video number 2 for week 6. So this one says, I want to work out 9 times £25 and 10 pence, okay? So we're going to do each of those sections split up, okay? So I've got a £20, this is what makes it up. I've got a £5, and I've got 10p. Okay, so if I want to do 9 times each of these, start with the easy one, 9 times 10p, you can all do that, we've got 90p, haven't we? 9 times £5 would be £45. And then 9 times £20 would be £180. So then all I've got to do is add those up and I will have the correct answer, which would be £225 and 90p. Okay, so we're going to do it a little bit different for the next one because we always do it in 2 different ways. So here we've got £99 and 15p, and I want to times that by 6, don't I? Okay, so if I do 6 times 5, I would get 30. If I do 6 times 1, I would get 6, plus this one here would be 9. Then I would do 6 times 9, which would be 54. Okay, so I would write that like this. Then I would do 6 times 9 again, which would be 54 again, but I would have to add the 5 at the bottom, which would be 59. So that would be my final answer there of £594 and 90 pence. Okay, so you can choose which method you want to use for that one. So on to the next one, we've got our averages. So if we remember, median just means the middle. So we're going to start by putting these in order. Okay, so our smallest one is 11, so we'll cross that out when we've done it. The next one is 12, so I can cross that one out. Then I'd have the number 14, so I can get rid of that one. Then it would be 16, and finally 22. So luckily I've got 5 numbers, so if I count in from the edges, I know that the middle number would be the third one. So my median here is 14. That's my answer, okay? So the mean is when we add up all the numbers that we've got and then we divide it by however many we've got. So the first thing we need to do is add these numbers together. So we could try and do this in our heads. So if we did 12 plus 2, that would equal 14. Then if I added the 10, I'd have 24. And then if I added the 12, I'd have 36. And then if I added the 9, I would have 45. So once I've added them together and I know that it's 45, I've then got to write that here. And then as we say, the mean is when you add them all together and divide by how many you've got. And I've got 5 numbers here. So I'm going to do 45 divided by 5, which would equal 9. Okay, so then I know that my mean for these numbers is 9. Okay, so on to the last 2. Now, as we've said, the word equivalent just kind of means the same. Okay, so it says complete the equivalent fraction. So we're using multiplication here. So we're asking ourselves, what did we have to multiply 3 by to get to 12? Because they've given us both of the denominators. So we look at whether it's the top or the bottom, where they've given us them both. Okay, so here they've given us the denominator here is 3 and the denominator here is 12. So how did we get from 3 to 12? Well, we had to times by 4. So we've then got to do the same to the top. So if we do 1 times 4, we would get 4. So now I know that 1/3 is exactly the same as 4 over 12. Now for this one's even easier. What do we have to times 1 by to get to 4? Well, we had to times it by 4 because 1 times 4 is 4. And now I've got to do the same thing to the bottom. So I've got to do 7 times 4, which would be 28. So I know that 1 over 7 is the same as 4 over 28. So those are your answers to the 20 questions, so make sure you've marked them and corrected any that weren't quite right. I hope you have a lovely weekend and your next maths work will be set on Monday.